It's not surprising. It's not surprising at all, which I think is more sad than anything. The fact that we're not even surprised by, the fact that there's roughly only 5%, Black people in engineering. I like the fact that that doesn't really surprise me, I think is kind of sad.
I am.
We are.
I am.
We are.
One fire.
More fire.
So I see a lot of empathy, communication, let me move this, knowledge, accountability. I actually really, really like accountability. Brave, open-mindedness, multidiscipline, ambition, compassion, innovation. There's a lot of empathy on here. So does anybody want to talk about why they put empathy?
I can comment on that. I feel like with my experience with dealing with leaders or stepping into that role, you can't really get to a place where you're in an exchange of ideas or working together diligently if you're not trying to get to an understanding of where everyone is coming from and where they are at in terms of their ability to do certain roles or tasks. So I feel like it's really important to see where people are coming and being able to understand how people are feeling and fold that into the work that you intend on doing.
All right, so the next activity is using the annotation function. What are things that are not important for leadership or some things that you don't want to see at all? Oh, this one was faster. Everyone was good to go. I see a lot of favoritism or / nepotism, poor communication, unknowledgeable, uncompromisable. That's a big one. Does anybody want to comment on anything that they wrote down?
Well, I didn't write this one, but I like the micromanaging one. So that irks me. Like if someone assigns tasks to get done, and then you come around and you go in and do the task that you just asked me to do, it really bothers me.
Oh, yes, I agree.
Yeah.
That really just gets me on my nerves. Like, why did you even bother assigning it?
This was a study done about people of color in STEM specifically, and I actually zoomed in on the engineering one because, engineers. But I wanted to focus on the statistic and basically just ask you guys, how does this make you feel given the numbers that are in front of you?
It's not surprising. It's not surprising at all, which I think is more sad than anything. The fact that we're not even surprised by, the fact that there's roughly only 5%, Black people in engineering. I like the fact that that doesn't really surprise me, I think is kind of sad.
Do you guys feel as though if it's accurate to Rutgers right now?
Yeah, SOE is built just like this.
Being that we've been remote for a while or whatever, I get a little, discouraged to ask questions in certain group chats and stuff. And I feel like when people read my name, they don't know what I look like. And on GroupMe, I also thought about changing my picture to a blank picture so that there would be no biasing, because I feel like that is a way that people may affect how they want to work with me or whatever. Because I did realize there were certain times where if I didn't have a picture and a profile picture in any type of social media app, people would be more willing to help with regards to my picture being shown on GroupMe.
The same thing has happened to me too. When I had a regular picture of me, just making my regular resting face, I didn't get a lot of responses. But then I changed last semester, I changed my GroupMe photo to a photo of me mean mugging, and I always get responses now.
It's the fear.
I don't know if there's a correlation to that.
It's the fear.
I think SOE, from what I last checked, is very similar to these numbers.
So I'm gonna jump in real quick, and I'm gonna find the stats and drop it in the chat. But Bev,
go ahead, Kenzie, drop the stats.
I'm gonna find.
A few moments later.
Chat.
Magna goes to the next slide. So just so you guys know, for SOE, it's 5% Black, 11% Latinx for undergrads.
I'm just gonna go back to the
5%.
5%.
That's not even. That's isn't that what?
That's right.
Margin of error. That's not even a real percent. That's an error percent. Like.
And then let me also put another level to this.
Yeah.
How many people of color professors have you had?
0. None.
I've only
Like
had
3.
I've had one.
I think I've had one. People of color professors?
And I am
I've
not
had-
counting. I am not.
I don't think
counting
the
Does Hove
any
count?
orientation.
Does Hove count?
Yes.
Yes, he
Okay,
counts.
I only had
that's what I
Hove
was
and
thinking,
fucking
Dr. Hove.
Actually, no, two.
Are you counting SOE?
I've had a number.
Like all the classes we have to take.
Women with college degrees in computers and engineering are less likely than men to be working in these jobs. I couldn't find in this same study the demographics of women in engineering and STEM, but I wanted to include this because this is also something we need to bring attention to as minorities, and it is the factor of intersectionality.
But like it's a thing, and even when I was working with J&J, it took me some time to be comfortable to like change my hairstyle from a straight wig to faux locks or box braids and stuff like that, because you just never know who might say something or like unnecessary comments and stuff that has nothing to do with work. Like it's like a whole extra job that a lot of us have to like take on just to be seen as everybody else.